Welcome to the lesson Aromas and Tasting Wine. In this lesson, you will learn about the difference between aromas and bouquet, the different families of aromas, how to properly taste and analyze wine using the 5 S's of tasting, and a few helpful hints to taste wine. Let's get started. Aromas are one of the most important components in analyzing a wine. By simply smelling wine, we can identify many different things about its origin, age, and structure. When talking about how a wine smells, we refer to this as the aroma or the bouquet. The difference between these terms are that the aroma refers to the specific smell, like chocolate or lilacs, where a bouquet refers to everything that you smell in the wine. When analyzing the aromas of wine, we split the different characteristics into families. These families of aromas include fruits, flowers, earth, and spice. Fruit aromas can include red fruits such as strawberries and cherries, black or blue fruits such as blackberries and blueberries, and white fruits, which span from citrus fruits like grapefruits and lemons to stone fruits, which include peaches and apricots. Floral aromas can include a full range of colors, from white flowers like lilies, honeysuckle, and jasmine, to red and violet flowers such as roses, violets, and lavender. Floral aromas also include herbs like rosemary or oregano, and fresh grassy notes like eucalyptus. Earthy aromas can be split into 2 categories, organic and inorganic. Organic aromas include moist or dry soils, moss, and mushrooms, while inorganic aromas include stones and rocks like gravel, limestone and clay, and other minerals like chalk and flint. Spice aromas can include baking spices like nutmeg, cinnamon, and clove, to warm notes like vanilla. Now let's move on to tasting wine. There are 5 important steps when tasting a wine: sight, swirl, smell, sip, and spit. When analyzing the sight of a wine, we are looking at the color. Color can help us determine 2 important factors in wine: the body, which will show us how heavy or light the wine will be, and it will also help us to determine the age of the wine. Swirling the wine is extremely important as it helps to aerate the wine and release the bouquet. And smell is one of the most important steps of analyzing wine because you are able to pick up on the aromas that were mentioned before. Now we can experience the wine in a whole new way, by mouth. By sipping the wine, we can identify the structure. Remember when we spoke about acid, tannin, alcohol, and sugar? And we can now see how it ties in with the bouquet. Finally, we spit the wine out. Always remember that consuming alcohol can affect your judgment and capacity to properly analyze a wine. Now let's wrap up this lesson with a few helpful hints. Never form your final opinion off of your first sip of wine. While the first sip is critical, the leftover taste in your mouth from whatever you may have eaten or drank before can still linger. The second sip will help you get a more complete picture of the wine. Always escalate the palate. This means that you should always begin with a lighter-bodied wine and move towards heavier-bodied wines. Of course, there are exceptions to this rule, which include dessert and sweeter-styled wines, which should always go last. And while other people can help you analyze wine, only you can develop your opinions. Always listen to your own nose and palate, which are unique in their experiences. As we wrap up this lesson, let's touch back and recap the highlights. When analyzing a wine by smell, there are 2 important terms to remember: aromas, which are any individual smells in a wine, and the bouquet, which is the smell of a wine as a whole. There are 4 families of wine aromas: fruit, flowers, earth tones, and spice. Each of these families have specific aromas that appear in the wine. When analyzing the taste of a wine, there are 5 S's of wine tasting: see, swirl, smell, sip, and spit. And finally, we covered a couple of hints for better wine tasting. Never go off of your first sip of wine. Always build up or escalate your palate by tasting from lightest to heaviest. And always listen to your own nose and palate. And that is the end of the lesson, Aromatics and Tasting Wine. Don't forget to check out the information and resources available in the course site. If you have any questions, you can always ask your teachers. See you in class!